I'm doing the race and ethnicity assignment. The My ethnicity, my race is Hispanic, like that. My dad is from Mexico. My mom is from Mexico as well. You feel me? They're both from a little ranch. They're both from the same ranch. They grew up in the same ranch. They got together and came over here. They're both from the same little ranch called El Capulín in Rio Verde in San Luis Potosí, Mexico. That's where they're from. Then they moved over here. I was born 2002 here. So I'm Mexican blood, but American, Hispanic, like that. There are times where Mexicans or, like the people like me where their parents are born in Mexico but were raised here in the United States, born here in the United States and raised here in the United States, where they're criticized, like as minorities, there's like stereotypes where Mexicans, they drink a lot, they, work only construction, lawn mowing, roofing, framing, cement work, stuff like that. I feel like people, and I've seen it, people see them as minorities for mowing lawns especially. They're like, come mow my lawn, like that, I see it happen multiple times. I've worked in lawn mowing and roofing. It's not it's not okay. It's not okay. Working in that kind of field is okay, right? It's a job. They get paid, to support their families, to support themselves, right? Whatever their condition is, right? Working is work, right? Work is work. Everybody has to work. That's just the field they're in, right? But they get seen as minorities because people look at them and be like, that's all they are. They're just lawnmowers. They can't be any more than that, And that's the reason why it's not okay. Just the judgment of it is not okay. The actual job is okay, right? They get paid good, stuff like that. But people see them as lower. You feel me? Like lower class, like that. They don't see them like, oh, this dude can't be nothing more than just a lawnmower, And overt discrimination that I've seen is overt discrimination that I've seen is in fast food. I've seen it. I work in fast food right now, right? This is one of my jobs right now. And also other jobs that I had in fast food, I seen it where my coworkers, we all have the headsets. We hear people talking to drive-through, and then they be like, "Oh, do you speak Spanish?" Right? But they say it with a Mexican accent, and then some of the Americans in there, they'll be like, "No, we do not speak Spanish." Right? They won't say it to them, but like they'll just say it, just to say it, right? It was a little like annoying, frustrating, right? That they would say that, because why, right? It did bother me, but there's no problem to cause a problem, right? They want to talk, they can talk, And the thing is, they will say that, then they'll be like, "Oh, if you want to, this is America, speak English," right? If you want to speak Spanish, go back to Mexico, right? But then the person will come up to be Honduran, not Mexican. So, they kind of, that's like, like a stereotype right there, right? Like every Spanish speaking person is from Mexico, right? We got El Salvador, we got Colombia, Honduran, right? Honduras. You got Argentina, who speak Spanish, right? Obviously, they got different accents. We can differentiate the type of Spanish they're speaking, right? If I hear an Honduran speak Spanish, I won't be like, "Oh, that dude's Mexican." No, we speak different Spanishes. It's Spanish, but different accents, right? Different words, different slang. It's the same thing here in the U.S. But non-Spanish speaking people think it's all Mexico. There'll be some people who hear someone speaking Spanish and they'll be like, "Oh, he's speaking Mexican." But Mexican isn't a language; it's Spanish. That's the majority of what people speak in Mexico. There's other languages that they speak in Mexico, but that's the main one. That's what I speak. My parents speak, But we got multiple different Spanish-speaking countries. You know, we got Honduran, we got El Salvador, you know, we got Chile, we got Colombia, we got Argentina, you know, we got all these other Spanish-speaking countries. You know, like if Honduran came up to me and started speaking Spanish, I won't be like, oh, he's Mexican. No, you feel me? I can differentiate, you know, like different accents. I can be like, oh, he's from El Salvador. He's from Honduras. You feel me? He's from Colombia. He's from Argentina, right? But let's say there are times where the Hispanics or a Mexican will come in and put in like a complaint, right? Like, oh, I didn't get my fries, you know, nicely, right? But then the Americans, you know, there would get upset and be like, oh, you better calm down. We're going to call ICE, you know. Like, you know, ICE being the immigration, you know, police, right? Like, that's what they say, right? They be like, oh, I'm going to call ICE, you know, like, like, why? You feel me? It doesn't make sense to me, right? For some fries, or just because they're trying to make a complaint that any person would have made, you want to deport them. Like it's, you know, it's a little weird, right? I guess like a little over exaggerating, right? The situation, you feel me? And that's not just like fast food, you know, like there's other times where you know, like in construction as well. I'd be working construction with my dad as well, and there are times where we go in early in the morning, right? Because, you know, we get the approval of the owner, right, of the house, right? He's like, all right, I won't be at the house at 7 a.m. You can come start on the house at 7 a.m. Okay, we get ready, you know, we leave the house at 6 a.m. Be over there, you know, because, you know, we go to McKinney, you feel me? You know, we go to like all these other cities that are a good distance away, 40 an hour, you know, 2 hours, you know, that are a good distance. And we would go and, you know, we get started, right? We're like, okay, we're going to start now. We're going to finish quick, right? We're going to finish, because it's just like porches, right? Porches, you know, probably like a good, like 5 squares, right? 5 square porch, right? 2-sided, you know, gable, right? Like, all right, we're going to finish this quick, right? Finish this before 1, right? By 1, we're going to be on the way back, if not already home, right? So, you know, me and my dad, we have a plan. We're like, okay, bet. We do it. And then, like, a couple minutes later, right? You know, we're getting into it. We're barely warming up. The neighbor comes out, you know, American neighbor, right? This happens, you know, a good amount of times, right? They'll complain and be like, oh, you guys making too much noise, you know, this, and this, we're trying to sleep, or, you know, stuff like that, right? Which, you know, I understand, right? If you're trying to go to sleep, not trying to be bothered, that's normal, right? I'm sure that anybody, you know, if they had a long night, you know, they'll come out and say that, right? But, you know, it was normal, right? And then me and my dad were just talking to each other. We were just talking in Spanish, right? Because he was speaking over his fence, right? His fence was probably like 8 feet. 8 feet. It was a pretty long, pretty tall fence, right? He would just, you could hear the door open, and he just starts yelling. Stop doing that, you know, like, stop making all the noise. I'm trying to go to sleep, you know, this, and this. And then, like, we were okay, you know. And then I was just talking to my dad, you know, telling him what he's saying, but I didn't reply to him, right, in English. I was talking to my dad. And then it was normal. We were like, okay. And then he's like, oh, you wetbacks, you know, like this, and this. Stop doing all that noise before I call ICE. And like, you know, like, same thing with the ICE. Always the ICE, you feel me? They keep talking about ICE. Frustrated, that's all they say. ICE, you know, deportation immigrants, you know, like that, right? It gets a little, you know, repetitive, a little annoying, right? And I mean, we didn't even have a chance to say anything, or I didn't even have a chance to say anything because my dad doesn't speak English, right? So I didn't even have a chance to say anything. He just opened the door, said what he said, and, you know, he said what he said, and then he just slammed the door back out. Back, you know, to the, you know, he closed it. I'm like, damn, okay, I guess, you know, we're gonna have to wait till later, you know. So then we came back at 11, you know, no problem. We didn't get no complaints, right? But yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of discrimination. There's a lot of, you know, judgments towards Mexicans, right? I'm pretty sure if you think of a Mexican, you could picture something, right? you know, something like that, right? But I mean, it's just the judgmental, right?